This is a place.
This is the place.
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for joining us this week on This is a Place. My name is Brandon, and I'm joined here by a man whose goal is to lose enough weight so he can comfortably fit his hand into a Pringles can. Nate.
That's me. We'll just see how much weight that will actually end up being. Because you ever try to get your hand inside a Pringles can?
Everybody has. You just end up dumping it all out on your face.
Yeah, and you try to dump them out in your hand, and then you get all the bottom crumbs, and it gets all over. So,
you remember when Lay's came out with their own version of Pringles? They still might be around. Probably are. I never buy them.
Yeah, but I believe their cans are kind of like a plasticky can, so you can manipulate the can to your hand in there.
And they tried to market the fact that your hands wouldn't be all greasy and pringly, but that's why I eat Pringles.
Well, there's a comedian that says, his name's Mitch Hedberg, but that Pringles actually started out as a tennis ball company. But the day that the tennis balls were supposed to show up, a truckload of potatoes came. They said, screw this. Put them up. Oh, I missed that guy. He passed away a few years ago. He's a funny dude. So
I love Pringles, though. And I love basically anything that's derived from a potato, in all honesty. Including this episode.
I am a meat and potatoes guy. I do like my potatoes in many forms and shapes.
Today we are talking about just potatoes, my friends. We're talking about SpudToddos, which is a potato-based restaurant. Is that what I say? A potato-based restaurant?
Potato-based?
So the restaurant centers on
potato themed.
It's in Jordan Landing in West Jordan. Just the one location for now. But you can get all your potato fixins there. They got pretty much whatever you want on top of your potato. Anything you could want on a potato, right?
And more.
And more.
And they don't just have potatoes, too. They have fries. They have sweet potatoes. They have a salad. So many different things that you can get there. It's one of my wife's favorite restaurants to go to when you're looking for something, not necessarily fast food, but the what do they call it? Fast casual dining, kind of like your Cafe Rio type setup. So we reached out to the owner of the company, and he was kind enough to come on and talk to us a little bit about his restaurant.
Yeah, so let's give it over to Todd. Let him take it away.
Todd, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can get into the story of SpudToddos.
So I hail from Utah. I grew up in Holiday. So I've been here my entire life. And I've always worked in restaurants. I started working in a restaurant when I was in high school as a sophomore and started out as a dishwasher. And then in that restaurant, it was Murray Callender's. There's only one left, and it's the one that I worked at that's on 39th South. And I worked every position in the restaurant. So I was a cook, I was a host, I was a busser, I was a server, I was the baker, and then I eventually became a manager. So that's what led me to the restaurant industry, and I've just been in restaurants ever since.
Can't get away from it, huh?
Yeah, right.
Well, when you worked at Marie Callender's, what was your favorite position, or would you say you would do again?
It was like the one that I had the funnest at was as a dishwasher, because I had all my buddies from high school working with me, and we would goof off a lot and sing a lot and waste a lot of time and get paid for it.
That's the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you're behind the scenes, right? So you don't have to.
Right. Yeah. And if you're Right. And if you're a fast dishwasher, then you can slack off and do nothing until there was lots of dishes. And then you can just do the dishes really fast and then go back to slacking off again.
And there's not
Did
a
you
whole lot
did
you
you
can
get
do
a-
to mess up on the dishwashing either. It's not like
Right.
you're ruining somebody's food. You're just cleaning up the mess afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they give you like a free meal with every shift, not every time, but every shift, or?
So in that restaurant, they didn't do that. You could buy food. It was like 50% off or something.
Okay.
And that's typical to most restaurants where you just, you buy, you can get a discount when you eat. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, I was a server at Hidden Valley Country Club probably back in 2001, and you got a free meal. But be honest with us, Todd. Did you ever eat off the plates of the dishes that came in that people didn't eat all their food?
I never did. No.
No. I'd be lying if I didn't say I did that a couple of times. Because there's a bunch of rich people to come in and they have to order so much food. So a lot of times they would order food and barely touch it. So by the time you took it back, you're like, they didn't even touch those fries. So
Yeah, and those are good fries, right?
it's fair game, right? So
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a very
That makes
George
sense.
Costanza move.
Yeah.
I do have his wallet.
There you go.
So keeping up with those. So tell us how did you get into opening up your own restaurant? What made you decide to do that?
So over the years of working in restaurants, I saw different aspects of the quality change, where a lot of restaurants, like at Marie Callender's, they used to make their pies in the restaurant, and then they moved to having them made in some big, like warehouse, commissary warehouse, and then shipping them to the restaurants, and they came in frozen to you. I worked at another restaurant where they used to make fresh pasta, and then they switched to the dry pasta. And then at the most recent restaurant I was at, they were making their mashed potatoes fresh in the restaurant, and then they switched to getting them brought in bags, and they were made, in other places. And so I wanted to, get back to the roots of quality and, having the sense of fresh made and homemade, and, feeling like it was a good quality product. And on top of that, when you're working for the corporate world, there's a lot of, you got to cut here, you got to cut there, you got to scrape every dime, and, labor. And sometimes it felt like you didn't have enough people to take care of the guests that were coming in the restaurant. And so, I wanted to kind of avoid all that and do my own thing.
So did you have other ideas besides potatoes, or was it always going to be potatoes from the beginning?
When I first came up with the idea, there wasn't really an idea. It was I wanted to get into the fast casual setting because it was the fastest growing part of the restaurant industry. And, the Mexican segment was already gone and taken, and it's hard to move in onto that. And so, I wanted to do something like that, but in a different style, different setting. And so, the potato just came to mind because it gets left out a lot. It's used on almost every dish, but it's not really the main focus or the main idea.
Well, give us an overview of the restaurant and exactly what it is. We're talking a lot about the potatoes, but tell us how it started and how you came up with the name.
So the name of the restaurant is SpudToddos, and it's really a play on words. And my mom was the one that kind of thought up the name for us. If you think about it, and spud is for the potato, and then the Toddos part is because I'm Todd. And so if you think about it, potato, SpudToddo, it all rhymes together. And I know a lot of people think of it like when they look at it, they think SpudToddos, and they think Spanish, like potato everything, which works also.
Does.
But
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Really, I'd go back and forth. I think because both Brandon and I speak Spanish, and because of that, naturally say SpudToddos when I read it, but when I say it, it's SpudToddos. You know what I mean?
So when did you start your restaurant?
So we opened in June of 2016. So it's almost been 4.5 years now. You know, we started working on the concept, you know, a lot before then, and getting, you know, loan approvals and you know, finding a location and all that took quite a while, but finally in June of 2016 is when we got open.
And how did you guys choose Jordan Landing as your spot to open?
Well, the reason was because the patio was awesome looking, for one.
True.
And it has a great view of the mountains. And really, though, the reason is because we were a startup company. Nobody was willing to lease us a location because we didn't have a proven track record.
Right.
And Jordan Landing had this space that was not being used and had been empty for quite some time. And if you've been to Jordan Landing, they're doing a lot of construction and a lot of redeveloping. And the part of the building that we were in was going to be part of their redevelopment. And so they were going to be tearing it down or redoing it or something to that nature. And so we were able to get in there on a short lease because that was space that they were not using and didn't plan to use because of their remodeling that they were going to be doing.
And then now it's been 3 years. So I'm assuming
So now it's been 4 years. And
4 years, sorry.
Yeah, 4 years. And in the process, they've changed what their plans were and what their outlook is. And so they're not actually doing anything with our building anymore. So now we're in our space and it works really good. And they've been very accommodating to us. So it's really nice. Worked out really well.
Well, I'm maybe a couple miles from Jordan Landing, and you're one of my wife's favorite places to go. So I appreciate your being so close to us. And
thank you.
So I'm just glad you guys picked Jordan Landing. So
yeah.
Can you tell us what makes you different from other restaurants or how it works when you go there to eat?
So I'm a restaurant where you come in and you go down the line and we build the food in front of you. So you come in and you pick what kind of potato you want. We have baked potato, mashed potato, fresh cut French fries, sweet mashed potato, sweet potato fries. You can do hash browns or you can build a salad. And then you move to your next step, which is your meat step. You pick what kind of meat you want with a sauce or gravy to go with it. Mm-hmm. So even though people think about the potatoes, really we have a lot of meats also. We have roast beef, pulled pork, turkey, chicken, ham, and then the different sauces or gravies that would go with those. Then you move to the next step, which would be a vegetable step. You pick what kind of vegetable you want. And then you pick a cheese to go on top of it. We melt it. And then after the cheese melts, you pick 3 garnishes to go on top, like your bacon or your chives or your sour cream or your green onions, whatever you like to put on your potato. So that's kind of the whole concept. And then after your food's made, you take it, you sit down and you eat, or you take it to go, or whatever it is that you do during the pandemic.
And well, that's another question too. How has the pandemic affected your restaurant?
So we've been very fortunate because we have a lot of loyal guests that come to us. And with the pandemic, a lot of people are trying to support local restaurants, and we pop up on that aspect when you look at local and like people have never heard of us, so that makes it an easier pick for people. And so really, and we also have DoorDash and Grubhub and things lined up, and so it's been a pretty easy transition from people not going out to eat, but ordering in or doing takeout or whatnot to accommodate their needs.
Well, I'll tell you how you guys hurt. Well, how it's hurt me during the pandemic going to your restaurant is that you guys have a really cool flavoring station for your sodas
Uh-huh.
that you don't have out right now, right? Because of the touching
True.
of all the stuff. So that's the one way it's hurt me because I don't drink carbonation, and you can only take so much lemonade before you're just sick of it. But having the flavoring that you guys have there, it makes it worth getting a drink at your place because you have all those flavors. So it just thinks that
Yeah.
you obviously can't have that out right now. So hopefully this all ends soon and you can go back to put your flavor station back up. 'Cause it's awesome.
Would love to have those out too. It's just such a sad thing.
So what's probably your most popular thing that people get when they go to your place?
So our most popular dish on the menu is called the buffalo garbage fry, and it is the fresh cut fries with chicken and buffalo sauce, and then we melt cheddar cheese on it, and then we
Mhm.
put bacon and green onions on it, and then you can choose either ranch or fry sauce to go with it.
Yeah, that's my wife's favorite. So she gets that every time. I like the pulled pork garbage fries better, in my opinion. So I get that a lot. What
That's
would you say? What was that?
The pulled pork is number 2.
Number 2. There you go.
Yeah.
What's your? I mean, don't you have one that's named after you?
So yeah, when people say what's my favorite, I have to tell them that it's the Todd's favorite, which is baked potato with the ham, mustard sauce, broccoli, cheddar cheese, and then it's topped with green onions. So it's my favorite because the mustard sauce is actually a family recipe, mustard sauce that we use in the restaurant, and so that comes from my grandmother. So
Yeah, I tried it about 3 or 4 months ago because I had to try what your favorite was. Because if
Mhm.
you like it, then it has to be good, right?
right.
You would think the mustard sauce just doesn't. It's not going to work, but because you said it's not like your typical mustard, it's a different recipe. I thought it worked. I thought it was pretty good. So
Yeah, really good. And it's not just good with ham. It goes really good with the pulled pork as well. And it goes good with the chicken. We have people that come in and do a variation of the Todd's favorite and do it with either pork or chicken or yeah, because it's really good.
yeah, and then and then one thing I do like too, you guys have like that turkey dinner. So speaking, Thanksgiving's coming up, so you can get a Thanksgiving dinner at SpudToddos year round, right?
Year round, yeah.
Year round, and then you also have some sides or kind of dessert type things, right?
Right.
You got to talk about the desserts.
Yeah, so we have 2 garbage fries that are one that's called a chocolate garbage fry and one that's called a sweet garbage fry. And the sweet garbage fry is probably the more popular one. It's just sweet potato fries with caramel drizzled over it and then bacon and then topped with whipped cream. And it's delicious. I don't even like sweet potato fries, and it's good.
I've never tried those. My wife and I, we love your cornbread, and I know that's not necessarily a dessert, but to me it kind of is. So
Yeah.
we get that a lot. But we'll have to try the sweet potato garbage fries next time.
I was there last night, and I was kind of going between because I knew I wanted to try a couple things. I've been there before, but I wanted to get something different. But I got the pulled pork variation, and then for the first time, I tried the chocolate garbage fries. I was tempted to try the other one as well, but those chocolate garbage fries, they're pretty good.
They are good. And when people see that on the menu, they're like, really? Chocolate garbage fries? And I always ask them, I say, well, hang on a second. Haven't you ever dipped your fries into your chocolate shake?
Exactly.
They're like, well, yeah, I've done that. Well, and then I say, well, our chocolate is way better than a chocolate shake. So
it's really good chocolate.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it that way. Yeah, my wife all the time, she's got my daughter doing it, dipping the fries in the Frosty, right?
Right.
You don't do that, Nate?
No.
Oh.
I'm not saying I've never done it, but
I got to get you to turn around on that because that's the best. Well,
and
next to
twist is-
the garbage fries.
Right. The twist though is that you sprinkle a little bacon on there, and then it adds that salty to it, and it's just delicious. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna have to try that next time. I just have a picture on my other computer of it right here. So
Yeah.
Maybe we can share the other variation, Nate, because I could not eat the whole chocolate garbage fries by myself. It's It's a lot of food.
Well, that's one thing I will say about your place, Todd, is you have a small portion, right?
Right.
But you always have to go with the large. I'm a pretty big guy and I can eat a lot. But it's sometimes hard just eating those garbage fries, eating all of them. I feel it's a lot of food. So I think the value is definitely there to go into your place. Because I never leave hungry, that's for sure. That's probably the reason why I never had the chocolate fries, because I'm like, I could barely handle just the garbage fries. How am I going to eat chocolate fries?
So then what you do is get the half size, and then you can get the chocolate garbage fries, and then you'll be set.
That's a good point. So it's just hard not to order the large one every time, though. And the one thing I do like to is that you put them in those aluminum containers, right?
Right.
And my air fryer at home, it's like the perfect size. So if you do take it home, I can put it in the air fryer the next day and reheat it. And sometimes it almost tastes even better because it's like a little bit more crispy because it's the air fryer. But yeah, so it's good. If you can't finish it there, which I rarely do, I can take it home and have a snack for either later or the next day.
Yeah.
I know last year, I believe it was last year, you guys were doing like, you could order Thanksgiving, or you guys were open on Thanksgiving. Is that right?
Yeah. And we will actually be open this year as well from 11 to 4 on Thanksgiving Day. But it's hard right now with all the catering stuff because most places aren't doing gatherings. And so it's kind of hard that way. But if people want to come in and get a turkey dinner or a turkey meal, or something that we also have available is a lot of gluten-free options. And so if somebody needs a gluten-free option, or we have that available as well.
Everybody's trying to figure out what they're doing this Thanksgiving, right? Because
exactly,
it's not to gather, and who wants to make a huge turkey dinner for just a small family, right?
So we can't gather at home, but we can go gather at SpudToddos and have a nice turkey dinner.
As long as you're not in groups bigger than 10.
Exactly.
That's true. So 10 over here, 10 over there.
You have a nice patio. It may be a little cold, but we can all huddle up over there.
Yeah.
You never know. It could be a warm Thanksgiving. You never know.
Yeah.
You can be out on the patio. That's not a bad option. So I might actually mention that to my family. Say, hey, let's go to SpudToddos. Can I ask 2 more questions?
Yeah.
Question number 1, I mentioned earlier that it's rare to be in the restaurant and not see you there working, Todd.
Yeah.
So how many hours a week do you think you put into the restaurant?
Oh, right now I'm probably working about 65 hours, 70 hours right in there. So.
Okay. And then question number 2, if you had it start all over again, would you do it again?
I totally would.
Okay.
I would.
So I've had people say both ways.
Yeah.
When they get into the food business, it's just like we've said before in other episodes, like everything looks easy, but people don't realize all the work that's behind the scenes to get something like that going. So yeah, your wife and I just beg you to keep going because we like your place. So keep doing what you do. Well, cool. Well, thanks for coming on, Todd. We'll see you in your shop.
So if that doesn't convince you of honestly the dedication and the love that goes into this place, I don't know what will. It's a great restaurant, lots of options for just about anybody, as he said. And I would just say make sure you are hungry and that your eyes are not bigger than your stomach.
Definitely don't go there if you're not hungry because it's very filling, but also very delicious.
You asked me last night after I had eaten there, what did I get? And I said I got really full.
A real full belly.
A real full belly. And I love fries. So I had, as I said, I got a half order already, so it was still a smaller amount. And I got the pulled pork, I got corn, I got barbecue sauce, and some black beans with the fries.
I didn't know or realize that they had fry sauce.
Yeah.
You mentioned, have you tried the fry sauce?
I haven't. I wanted to. I didn't see it until after I'd already ordered and it started being made. So I was like, shoot. But I want to go back and try the fry sauce because I am a fry sauce connoisseur and I'm always looking for the best one I can find.
I'm gonna have to try that next time I get the garbage fries. See if I can't get the fry sauce next time. See how that works.
I'd want to come up with a good combination though, because I think if I would have got the fry sauce with like pulled pork, it just wouldn't land very well. Well, nah, it still would, but I feel like it goes better with barbecue sauce like I got. So I'd have to really plan it out what I'd get with the fry sauce.
I believe I usually get ranch with mine because I like jalapenos on my garbage fries, and the more the better. So I kind of like that little kick, and then the ranch kind of helps with the flavoring. But
You got to go try the dessert though.
never tried it. I've seen it obviously every time I go in, but like I said, I'm normally like pretty stuffed because my eyes are always bigger than my stomach, and I always get the large, and then I have a hard time finishing it. Plus, normally outside of COVID, having that drink station, drinking a lot of lemonade, a lot of sugar, it's hard to think about a dessert after you're done eating there. But I might have to go there just to try the garbage dessert fries, chocolate fries.
That's a meal in itself. There you go.
And one thing I don't know what the number is I know they have one of those text messaging deal things.
I think it's 10 meals or 10. Yeah.
No, yeah, they have that. But I think if you those message clubs,
Oh, right.
like if you text and then like once a month they send like a coupon deal. So I'm sure they have a sign at the store. We should have asked Todd when he was on what the number was, but they do send out quite a bit. Buy one, get one half off.
We haven't been as good with our reviews lately, but did want to share a couple things about the reviews from Google. My favorite one that I found was that iCentral said, SpudToddos likes to send me reviews when I'm trying to eat at Rumby's next door. Rumby's was okay. Could use more salad dressing. I wonder if the potatoes next door are any good. 1 star.
So he gave a review about Rumby's next door and wondered what potatoes were, but he just assumed they're going to be 1 star.
I don't know. Somebody responded and said, we'd love for you to come try SpudToddos. Don't know why you're getting reviews about it because we don't advertise, but we should because they're really great. You should come give us a try. And I would echo that sentiment. Go give them a try. As he mentioned as well, they've got a lot of loyal fans that keep coming back, such as yourself, Nate. But yeah, a lot of really positive reviews, sitting at 4.6 on Google. People sharing pictures, how delicious it is. They didn't really know what to expect, but they're really happy with it. One person said, fantastic restaurant idea. Potato bar on steroids. Tried the spud skins, garbage fries, and traditional Thanksgiving plate. All of them topped with flavor. Would love to see a franchise up north in the Layton area. So people already wanting them to expand and do more of this idea. So if you haven't tried it and you're not too far away, give it a shot. Who doesn't love potatoes in some form?
I don't know of anybody who doesn't like potatoes.
My mom doesn't like potatoes, but she still likes fries. So there's something for everybody.
Yeah. Depends on what form you want the potatoes, right? My favorite type of potato is the liquid form.
The liquid form? What is the liquid form of a potato?
In Russia?
In Mother Russia?
Mother Russia, vodka.
Was vodka made from potatoes?
I'm pretty sure. I don't drink.
Well, hold on.
Most vodka is made from fermented grains such as sorghum, corn, rice, rye, or wheat, though you can also use potatoes.
Well, there you go. Nate's favorite potato form is the alcoholic one.
That's how I get through this pandemic.
That You got to have some way to do it, whether that's gorging yourself on potatoes, fries, or liquid potato. Got to pick something to get us through this time. And as he said, come by for a Thanksgiving dinner if you have nowhere else to go. You got one at SpudToddos.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen this Thanksgiving, right? With
I guess we'll find out on...
kind of locking things down here, but at least I'm going to say, and I know there's people that listen to California, but man, I'm glad I don't live in California. It sounds a little crazy right now.
You know, something I've seen going around on social media, I don't know if this sounds like something probably intended for California. So 6 people are allowed for Thanksgiving, but 30 are allowed for a funeral. So I will be holding a funeral for my pet turkey that will pass away on November 26th. Refreshments provided.
He doesn't know about funeral potatoes.
Oh, funeral potatoes.
Brought it back to potatoes. You could have a funeral potato party.
You know, lucky for you guys. We were talking about it. We've been going since the pandemic began. We're still here going strong for you, providing you the entertainment you need to get you through these tough times.
Yeah, so if you're home alone on Thanksgiving and need a little pick-me-up, listen to any one of our episodes.
Any one of them.
It'll cheer you right up.
Just hit download and let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of SpudToddos and what other restaurants you'd like to see us cover. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of This Is a Place.
See y'all next week.